broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I just love this music.
Just let the music play, really.
So much. It has been way too long since we heard this. And for those of you who aren't familiar, it is the theme song for Black Sails. And AfterBuzzers, welcome to another edition of AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. I'm Lauren Salaun, and today we are getting up close and personal with one of our favorite stars from TV.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah. Sweet enthusiasm. Thanks,
I could be a woo girl.
Yeah, we can. So, the lovely lady to my left stars as Max on Black Sails and also starred alongside Michael Ealy in the movie The Perfect Guy. You may have also seen her on the CW in The Secret Circle, Smallville, 90210, and several other shows.
I completely did not realize you were in Smallville, and now I'm like geeking out a little bit. I'm like,
oh no, that's so great.
I love Smallville.
I
so
love
much.
Smallville fans because they're so intense and loyal to the show. And it's funny because you and I were at an event together the other night, and as I was going downstairs, the guy said to me, "Oh my God, you're the girl from Smallville!" And like that was like 6-7 years ago now, and it's still people are still like, "Oh my God, it's amazing." And I'm always shocked when people recognize me from that show.
Oh, that's so
Ages
fun.
ago.
Yeah, so Jessica Parker Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm glad we could make it work.
Totally.
And where can everyone, before we dive into everything, where can everyone find you on Twitter and online?
Oh, yes. I'm the worst tweeter in the universe. You could tell. Oh my gosh, I don't even think I didn't even tweet.
It's okay.
It's
we
fine.
Did.
You
did.
just
We got it.
retweet.
Don't
You
worry.
just retweet
Just
what we
retweet.
already
All right.
tweeted, and
It's not going to be the
later.
case where like you never asked me back because I didn't
We're like,
tweet.
she didn't tweet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Blacklisted.
Take note.
Take note. So
Producers?
you can find me on Twitter at jparkerk and on Instagram at jparkerk3. I just I'm not particularly skilled at doing it, so I'm working on it. But you can find me there.
No judgment here. There's no judgment. You tweet however you want to tweet.
You do you.
I'll do me. I'm Canadian, so I'm feeling very guilty right now. Canadians are just like, we're the most guilty, and we haven't done anything, but we always feel bad for everything.
You're absolutely fine.
And then we've also got Keetin Marchi
Hi,
over
guys.
here.
I know. I'm so excited to join this panel this season. I'm literally just binge watched the entire series of Black Sails. So I'm like so in it right now. Like every little detail probably that you won't even remember. I'm gonna remember because I just watched
I'm so
it.
glad you're here then.
I know. I feel like I need to rewatch. So
I'll be your fact checker.
yeah. So a little info. So season 3 is premiering on Saturday, January 23rd. So just in a couple weeks, and we are so excited. It's been a full year since we've had Black Sails, and I was just saying, oh gosh, it feels like it's been so long, like a year, literally.
It's been a year.
It's been even longer since you shot this because you shot this 2 years ago.
I know.
Right?
I'm really nervous about this interview because we shoot a year ahead of everything. So right now, everyone's about to see season 3. And we're shooting season 4 already, so it's just like it's crazy, and I'm going, oh my God, what happened in season 2? If we want to talk about that, I don't know if I'll remember anything.
Well, the VFX is just so incredible in Black Sails, and I think that's what I was talking to some people at that event, and they were saying that's what takes so long. That's why we give so much time for kind of the post part of this, but. Yeah, don't spoil anything.
I won't spoil anything. I'll do my best.
Actually, please do.
I know. That's what everyone wants, right?
I don't want to
get you in trouble.
I like it.
Yeah, the VFX is something that they do. I was gonna say that they do all over the world. Like I think there's like people in Sweden doing our VFX and people in Canada and people in the United States. It's so there's so much to do that they've had to spread it out kind of worldwide. It's insane. It's
do you work with the VFX a lot? Like I know you're kind of in your own set.
Yeah, I don't. I'm always I would so love to experience what that's like. At the same time, I think it's probably really, really difficult. But no, I haven't done, I don't think any VFX on the show at all. But the boys are doing it constantly, you know, which is just, you know, they're always looking at things that aren't there and looking at big screens. And, you know, everyone's always like, wow, it must be so cool to film at sea. What's that like? And I'm like, we film next to a freeway, man. Like, we are never at sea, you know. So it's the VFX is, I mean, it's just it's such good quality on the show. I'm always like,
and I mean, with Michael Bay being a executive producer on it, we wouldn't expect any
Mr.
less.
Mr. VFX.
We're getting big explosions for sure.
Absolutely, yes. The money is going into the VFX for sure. Lots of blood, lots of action, 100%.
Yeah. Now, do you get to? Because I saw in this, I just watched all the special features too. Did you get to go to pirate camp?
I love that. No, and
That's not fair.
I was so jealous because everyone, whether you're a boy or girl, everybody kind of wants to be like pirate, like sexy pirate. You know what I mean? Like, whenever at Halloween, you always go to pick up a costume at whatever store, and like there's always 11 versions of sexy pirate.
Yes.
There's a million of them, and everyone wants to go to pirate camp. That being said, I think it was 3 or 6 weeks for them. I can't remember how long, but they were on insane dietary restrictions and were working out every single day. So it wasn't like all fun.
It's like
cool.
boot camp, pirate
camp. Was serious business, yeah. But the boys looked ridiculous by the time
they still look ridiculous.
I know.
Right? I know. Every time we're like, shirts off. Great decisions.
Yeah, I'm so glad that all of them are like my big brothers, because if they weren't, it would be huge trouble, because they're gorgeous guys and their shirts are off all the time and they're beautiful looking, and I know it's very hard for women to be normal around them, and I totally get it.
Well, the ladies on the show are not bad to look at either.
Right.
You guys are gorgeous.
We're so gorgeous.
And we get a lot of visual candy, if you will, just from, like I said, from all the beautiful people, but then there's so much like juicy scenes too.
Yeah, there really are. Yeah, it's a very we try to cover as much as we possibly can, different kind of genres in one genre. It's really fun, and the girls on the show are honestly like my sisters. We're really, really close, but we're all really, really different. And I just think each of us kind of bring something different and interesting to the show, and we work really well together. And I'm just not like tooting my own horn in that kind of way. I just mean I love the girls on the show. I think we're doing a good job.
It's a male-dominated show. Pirates in the past have always, they're just macho kind of things, and it's so great to have 3 such strong female characters, and for them to be written honest, and you guys are smart, you're cunning, like you're up there with like the dudes, if not smarter than the dudes, and I like kind of seeing that. And there's not as very many kind of love stories that are in this, and even the love stories that are in this show that's not really the main focus. It's more of like, how can I help you?
Yeah, the romance element of it doesn't really dominate it, and when there is a romance element, they make it very specific, and it's very much there for a reason, which I think is really important. Kind of the relationship with the Max Bonnie thing is really interesting, and something that we haven't really seen before, and it's a really interesting dynamic between the 2 women. But there's really, really strong females on the show that are also very flawed females. I think they're really real women, and it's so cool to be working on something that's set in the 1700s when women didn't have a lot of rights, and really, season 2, season 3, we were quite powerful,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and in season 3, without saying too much, I mean, we do have another woman that comes and is incredible. I mean, she is phenomenal. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I
can't say who, when, how, when, or why, but I can say there's another great woman on the show.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
I'm gonna make a guess that it's Mary Reed. But
so you said it here first.
Yeah,
I don't know.
said it here first.
I don't know.
Plead the fifth on that one.
I know.
We will see.
Don't give it away, but that's how I'm feeling.
How have you felt about Max's kind of character arc? You're going into season 3. Max's life has completely taken a 180 turn at this point, because you started at the lowest of the low, really, at the end of season 1, and now at the end of season 2, you're a queen. I mean, the last shot of the season 2 was on your face, seeing all the gold that you are basically splitting 3 ways. How have you liked Max's kind of journey, and where are you hoping she goes?
It's so great because she's had such a huge arc on the show. And I remember when John Steinberg and Robert Levine first talked to me, they said, right now in season 1, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on with her, but she's going to have a massive, massive, massive arc, and kind of in a lot of ways. be very powerful in the town of Nassau. So it's been really special to figure out exactly who she is and the balance between what's important to her. Like, she's very much a businesswoman. She went into prostitution because that was something where you can make money and in a way have some kind of power over people, and that's how her relationship with Eleanor was really used, right? It was, you know, I kind of manipulated information out of the clients that would come into the brothel and use that with Eleanor. And so she's very smart. She was always keeping her connections with the right people in town, and has continued to do so, and that's why through season 2 she's you know, made a lot of right choices and made the right allies and has come out, you know, on top, it would appear, you know. And it's been really interesting getting to know her. I mean, she's really been through so much, and I wish I was as strong as her, you know.
Yeah, you're like the new Eleanor now on Nassau.
Right.
In a lot of ways, in a lot of ways. And then with that becomes, you know, a tremendous amount of responsibility. And I think in season 3, something that I can say is you know, something that I think she struggles with is trying to figure out how to be earnest and still be very powerful while making deals with people that she doesn't, you know, because once you get power, you kind of have to make friends with people maybe you don't necessarily want to. So this season 3, there's a lot of kind of that power balance for her.
In what ways would you say that you are similar to that character?
Gosh, you know, I don't really feel similar to her at all, other than I guess her I don't know, her kind of aloofness, I guess. But I'm not really aloof at all. I'm a really friendly person, but I think I can be very aloof with like men, and I guess maybe that. I don't know. We're really, really different. It's hard for me to compare myself to her because I you know, I wasn't raised the way she was. My life is completely different
Obviously.
than she was, you know. So I don't feel truly that I have much in common with this woman, but I enjoy playing characters that I don't have a lot in common with. Otherwise, it gets kind of boring.
Makes
you know,
it more exciting.
It's
and
more exciting. It's way
challenging.
more challenging. You know, I have to do a lot more work, and that's what I want to do while I'm there.
Was this a daunting character? I mean, I imagine like when they first came to you with Max, it's a great juicy character, but you're very exposed on this show. You go through a lot. Was that kind of like daunting to you, like as you would get the scripts for season 1 and then going into season 2, or kind of like what is that feeling like as an actor?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always kind of a struggle when you're on a show, you know, whether it's HBO or Starz, and someone is saying like, okay, you're going to be the prostitute because, you know, immediately, you know, you're going to be naked because you can't get the role of the prostitute and then say in your contract, well, I don't want to be naked or exposed, you know. And it's really, there's such a huge amount of vulnerability that you see in her in season 1 that you don't really get to see again in the same way. And I actually miss playing a lot of that, you know. I think it was I just found it to be tremendously challenging to keep her strong, and yet know when the doors are closed and the windows are closed and the blinds are down, like there's, you know, she's a really vulnerable person and had horrible things happening to her. So that part was really challenging, but I just wanted to portray it in as honest way as possible.
Well, I think we still do see some of that sensitivity and that vulnerability in her relationship with Anne and that situation, because while I think Max does everything very intentionally, she also does really feel things.
Totally. It's interesting. People always say, like, who's the protagonist, who are the good guys on the show, who are the bad guys on the show, and at the end of the day, these people are all like crooks and criminals. We're really all kind of bad guys, but we're not necessarily bad people. And with Max, you know, she has I think the relationship with Anne shows that, you know, she's got a soft spot, and it's interesting on the show to figure out which pirates have soft spots. And I'm calling myself a pirate, but I'm not. But you know what I mean. which ones have soft spots and which ones don't, and it's kind of fun watching people pick their favorite characters because of that.
I love your relationship with Jack. I think it's so funny. It's like this. You both understand kind of what you are to each other, but but you're both so smart and both making sure you're kind of moving your chess piece first before the other one. What is it like kind of working with those guys all on set, like Jack and Anne? Like, do you guys have fun together? Because you guys all have great chemistry.
Yeah, you explained that so well. That's exactly what it's like. I need to bring you to all of my interviews. That was perfect. It is. That's exactly what it is. It's two people that are neck and neck in terms of smarts, and exactly, it's trying to go, like, you're working together, but you could instantly be working apart from each other. And I think there's that beautiful kind of clash over both kind of fighting for Anne at the same time. They are brilliant. Toby Schmitz was born to play Jack Rackham, I think, in this show. He is so, and he's so brilliant, and every take is completely different, and it looks totally effortless, and I'm so jealous working with him because I'm like, how do you do that? Just a joy to work with them. I mean, it's really cool because the kind of Ranger crew, so Zach McGowan, who plays Vane, and Bonnie and Jack Rackham are really tight on the show, and then they're best friends outside of the show. Like they really created their own little like threesome of strength there. So it's great working with them because the relationship feels really real between the two of them when you work with them. So it's it's easier to pretend because there's a real connection there, and they're so brilliant at the parts, and just a joy.
When you guys are kind of on set, because like it shocked me when I first like got introduced to you and heard your voice, just because you sound so different obviously on the show than you do in real life, and I feel like that is with everybody that's in that show. When you guys are on set and you guys kind of are, the director says cut, do you guys drop the accents, or you kind of try to stay in it until you're done shooting for the day?
We all drop them. I mean, for me in season 1, I was constantly like, would drop it, but I was very, very focused right before every take to get back into it. Now it feels like second. I don't even actually think. Like someone would hand me something that I need to say as Jessica, and I would say it and then say it as Max, and I would immediately go into the accent without even thinking that I have to do it. Like it's just inside of me now. So I don't feel like I need to stay in it. And Zach is like a professional. He does all of the Zach McGowan does like the movie trailers and stuff. So like it's also easy. It's easy for him, so he doesn't have to stay in it at all. And then we have a couple of Australians, but it just seems to be like that British accent seems to be something that everybody learns how to do early on in acting school, so it's easy for them, and more and more easy for me as I've gone
yours
on.
Is difficult, like
honestly, we actually at the very beginning they just couldn't pick exactly what they wanted it to be, and so there was a tremendous amount of ADR in the first couple of episodes of the first season because they were like, no, the French accent's too strong, we need to pull it back, and finally they figured out exactly what they wanted, and it's a little medley. It's like it's a European French, but also kind of with British undertones, and we just played with it until it fit, and I hope it fits now. I hope I'm not butchering it.
And we were talking before we went on air about how being from Canada, you hear a lot of French, so it must have made it at least a little easier to get into.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. I speak French, so it definitely was more helpful for sure. French Canadian accent is so incredibly different from a European accent, so that that part of it wasn't necessarily helpful, but speaking French and growing up in Canada learning French was hugely helpful for it, definitely.
Now, how much kind of dialect like coaching did you do, or do you have somebody on set all the time to do it?
I have this amazing coach in ALA actually named Joy Ellison, and she does everybody. She does Brad Pitt and
shout out to
and
Joy.
All that. Yeah, she's incredible, and she's my lady. And I just pop over to her house where her studio is, and I think one of the last people she was working with was Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, and it was just like, oh my God, Joy, can you like make my appointment right after his appointment so we can cross paths? Super attractive man. And she's incredible. So I worked really hard with her in the first season and the second season, and now I kind of feel like I have it. So we have dialect coach that's on set with us, but she's there more for the boys than for me.
The boys who are literally screaming at each other and like having to memorize this choreography as well.
Unreal. Like the dialogue is so thick on the show. There's so much to say, and it's so intense. I don't know how they do it while like they also have a sword fight, or they're in a crazy storm sequence, or like there's just like it's so much work for them. I feel lucky being the whore. It's much easier.
So season 1, we had a lot of like the big production elements, and it was obviously season 1, so we're getting to know characters and just the direction of the show. And I think season 2, we saw a lot more of backstory, and things felt almost a lot more political in a sense, just because the power shifts and power play is going on. What direction would you say season 3 is going to take us into?
Good question. A lot of there's a tremendous dynamic going on between kind of this happens every time I do an interview asking about the next season, and I've practiced how I'm going to say it, and so that I don't give anything away, and then I catch myself and I go, oh my God, wait, I can't say that. For Max, it's very politically driven. That's very much I can say for myself. That's a huge part of what is going on with her. Also, she's fleshing out this sort of strange dynamic between Jack Rackham and Anne Bonny, and that's a massive focus as well in season 2. Them figuring out exactly what they are and who they are and what's going on there, and exactly what that relationship between Anne Bonny and Max is, because it's really kind of precious. But I would assume as if you were watching, it's sort of like, what's going on there? Is it real? Is it not? And is Max using her?
Well, you got your heart broken in season 1, and you just started repairing it. It's like, oh, is Anne like a rebound for you, or is Anne just for you to move your way up, or are you actually falling in love with Anne?
Yeah, and I love that. I love that people are wondering that and talking about that, and it's possible that maybe there's an element of both of those things there. You know, I think that Max is someone that very much cares for Anne, but I think she's business focused and she's a bit selfish right now, and she doesn't want to get hurt again. You know, and Anne is potentially very, you know, she had an involvement with a woman that was involved with pirates, but she's never had direct involvement with the pirates, so it could be very dangerous for her. So I think she always has a little bit of a wall up there.
And I know that a lot of us also like the Anne and Jack relationship, and while that may not be like the romantic relationship we want to see really take off necessarily, we love that friendship and that bond that they have too. So seeing how all 3 of them either make it work, or which 2 pair off, or what happens.
There's some great stuff with them in season 3. I was lucky enough to see the whole season as well. I got to watch it, so which is so different than reading it, right? yeah, soon enough. And I mean, it's just like they blow my mind. They're so great together. They have just unbelievable chemistry. It's so special.
What does Max want? Like, because I feel like a lot of that it seems like that changes on an almost like multiple times an episode exactly what Max is focused and trying to get, and she usually gets it. She figures out a way to get it, but what overall does Max want?
Yeah, that's such a good question, and a question I ended up asking the producers and the creators of the show, because I got confused. I was like, I need a clear direction here, please tell me. Otherwise, you know, I was going to make it up on my own, and I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. And I think at the end of the day, Max really wants a peaceful environment. She's not interested in big wars or fighting, or I think I think maybe like a quiet life is the wrong thing to say exactly, but I think she would like things to be balanced on the island, and she's at this stage willing to do whatever it takes to make things balanced. So she's happy to live with things in chaos a little bit. She's happy to kind of churn up whatever dust needs to be churned up so that she can get control over what is going on. And I think, you know, I think she wants money, but she's not power hungry, certainly not. I think she just wants a very stable life for herself. And I think it's really simple.
Yeah, are we going to see any backstory from Max or any flashbacks with you?
There's actually a really beautiful scene in season 3 where she does talk a little bit about that, and it was my favorite scene to shoot, actually, because it's the dialogue on the show sometimes is really difficult to learn just because it's really complex, and you know, you're trying to focus and stay in the moment while learning the dialogue. And with this particular scene, I felt so incredibly connected to it. It was like the words were in there and it was in the scene. And I think that's why, because it was such a personal moment where Max is kind of talking about her past, and it's a little bit revealing and helpful. And I think in a lot of ways it does kind of answer that question in part that you're asking about what she wants. So.
Yeah, because season 2 we saw so much flashback with, you know, Flint and Miranda and that whole situation. And I don't know about you guys, but did you guys see the relationship with Thomas being going in that direction? Because that, I know, surprised me.
Shocker.
Yeah,
huge shocker. I couldn't believe it when I read it. It was like, yeah, crazy.
Wait,
when you read that, were you just like...
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I really was. Like, we did not see it coming. And it was a really interesting choice that the writers made. And I know that the critics were very torn on it. You know, some people were like, this is great. Other critics were like, this is terrible. But that's great. I think that's what you want when you're on a show. You don't want everybody agreeing. You want people, because you want people talking about it. You want people, having a conversation. And that's very much what it started. But it's fascinating dynamic for him to be so connected to James as well as Miranda. It's
and I'll be curious as to now how are they going to move his character forward? Is there just going to be no more romance or any type of those type of connections with him, or are we going to see it with a man or with a woman? Because obviously he had a very strong connection with both Thomas and Miranda. And
exactly.
So,
in very different ways.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It'll be very interesting. Are you going to get in on that Captain Flint action? Or
I want to. It's so funny.
You only get to kiss girls, though.
I only get to kiss girls. I am a straight woman in real life, and in real life, and it's funny. I'm always like, can I please just kiss a boy? Just want to kiss a boy so badly, but no, it's much easier because us girls, we know each other so well, so we just like get in there and get it done, and we're like, we get it over with. I love Flynn. I think he's just ridiculously sexy. He's a sexy character. He really is, and he's all over the buses in Los Angeles right now, and he's sort of looking down and brooding, and it's like he's like such a manly man. And it's funny because Toby in real life is one of the silliest, most childish people I have ever met. He's a delightful, silly goofball. I mean, he couldn't be more different from Captain Flint. Really, he's ridiculous, and he's a funny, wonderful man to be around.
So speaking of silliness, has anyone pulled any pranks, or are there any jokesters on set at all?
I think because I know, and I always feel really guilty when I get asked this question because I want to tell you something amazing. I think because the show is so giant and huge, and with all the VFX, we don't have a lot of time to waste.
Right.
So
I'd be like, hey guys, knock it off.
Like if I get the giggles for whatever reason, I feel the tension on set instantly coming from everyone on the monitors being like, oh god, I hope this doesn't take, like, it's not that it's not a fun set, it is,
but it's very
intense. We're trying to get through our days, so we really don't make a lot of room for joking. I hear other actors talk about all these great practical jokes that everybody's pulling at each other, and then dumped a bucket of water on his head, and it's like we would be in so much trouble.
Right, with all the costuming, makeup,
exactly.
all that.
So we're all very civil with each other. There's a lot of like weekend shenanigans going around. I always tell this story about Zach McGowan scaling the wall of outside one out of our apartment buildings trying to get some rum that Mark Ryan, who is from season 1, had on his balcony, and that's like the story I keep repeating because I just see it in my head watching Zach scale this wall to get the rum because he is a real life pirate. He's a real pirate. The things you do at 2:00 in the morning when you can't get alcohol in Cape Town. You
break into your co-star's apartment.
Yeah, exactly. When you can see the rum on the balcony, you go, I'll just scale the wall and get the rum on the balcony. It'll be fine.
So one of the cool things, and at least in this season 3, at least in the first 2 episodes, you get to wear the prettiest dresses.
Yeah, it's
ever.
Stupid. That's what I say. It's stupid.
It is stupid, like how gorgeous the costumes are. What is it like working in those type of dresses and like the whole fitting process and stuff? Because like it has to be a dream to get to dress up like that every day.
In season 1, it was a nightmare.
I'm sure.
Because I had never experienced a real corset before. Everyone goes to Victoria's Secrets and gets their sexy corsets, and how sexy do they feel? But they have no concept of what a real corset is like.
Right.
And the fact that it takes 2 women to do up my corset, every morning, and it was awful. It was awful because I couldn't breathe, and I looked awesome. I was so happy about the way I looked, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to perform. I'm not going to be able to do this. I can't breathe, and I need my voice, and I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I think about all the women back in the 1700s that were always, passing out. It wasn't because they were like, oh, these poor women. It's because they couldn't breathe. Right. So when things were shocking or it was hot out, they were fainting left, right, and center.
Well, and now so many women are doing them just for like the waist training thing, all that. And
you're like a little short documentary thing on YouTube, and like there's women that just, their partners find it really sexy, so they're just like have practice, and it does change your shape. My co-star Hannah now is wearing more corsets, and so she is talking. She's like, her husband was like, I think my like, he's saying that like my shape is changing. So
waist training,
waist training,
it's
exactly.
a new thing.
Yeah, don't get any like crazy ideas, please, people out there about corsets. But other than the first year of learning how to wear it, I'm actually very used to them now, and the dresses are so unbelievably beautiful, and I get a new dress every episode, and I'm super spoiled, and I know it, and I'm grateful, and it's so fun.
Because Max got money now. Max is just
she's just buying.
And she always gets the prettiest dresses, I think, too, like the best colors.
Well, that's because she's the madam.
I'm the madam.
She's got to look good.
I must, and we have an incredible costume designer. His name is Tim, and he's just is a brilliant dress designer and patterns, because really all the dresses are actually very much the same. It's just that they have a different pattern, and he's sort of the genius behind coming up with, okay, how can we take the same basic dress and turn it into a million different dresses, and he does it really well.
Awesome. Oh my god, I get so jealous.
I know. I get super girly about my dresses. I don't like being girly, but I get super girly about them. I want them all.
So what are I know we're going to see possibly Mary Reed, and definitely Blackbeard is coming.
Blackbeard.
So yeah,
Blackbeard.
How does Blackbeard's introduction into the series? Is that just like does shit hit the fan? You know, how is this going?
Let me just tell you everything right now.
Within what you can tell us.
Yeah, I don't know what to say without how do I talk about Blackbeard's introduction? I would be devastated to spoil it in any way, because it is pretty awesome.
It's epic.
It's epic, and
oh, you've seen it already? Have you, Keaton?
Blackbeard?
Or in the
first couple episodes.
Yeah, you see him.
Yeah. So there you go. That's how you see him. You see him in the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson, who plays him, is just such he's a giant dude with kind of this very like big presence, and he's the perfect person to play Blackbeard. Exactly. And so it works really, really well. I think it's kind of, if you envision what Blackbeard may have looked like or sounded like, he is that, and it's intimidating, really intimidating. Yeah, so it's nice to have a big, strong character like that on the show.
I'm so excited to see how that goes, because you know, we've got the players that we've seen. We had Ned Lowe in that situation and get killed off, but
he bugged me.
Yeah. Oh gosh, he was terrible.
He was a real
terrible.
mean.
We hated him.
We hate Ned Lowe.
Yeah,
we hate
which was
Ned
the
Lowe.
point of that character.
Exactly.
I had to hide my eyes with too much blood too many times with Ned Lowe, so I was like,
he's very, very good at playing like very scary, scary person. Yeah.
Excited for another really intense new character.
Do you
to come
get
on board.
some fun scenes with Blackbeard?
Not yet.
Okay, because I just feel like he's going to come into Nassau and really shake things up, and you're kind of the queen of Nassau. I feel like at this point, I mean, you know everything, you know everyone, you know, you're taking control. So I'd be interested to see what your interactions with him is going to be.
Can't speak on the matter.
Oh, maybe that'll be some little partnership that happens. Ooh,
that would be fun.
That would be great. Little Max and big old Blackbeard.
I'm just gonna sit
Oh,
here
you guys
quietly.
would take. Oh man,
that would be a strong pairing.
That would be a
power couple.
That would be a power couple. Actually, Ray Stevenson said that to me. He was like, "We make the strongest like
Max Beard
power couple." Yeah, Max Beard.
The power
exactly.
couple Max Beard.
Max.
Yeah,
We can only hope. Let's not call it Black Max.
yeah, Black Max. That's perfect. Black Max. That's
Black
perfectly
Max,
politically correct. We know what we mean when we say that.
Yes,
yeah.
we do. So I guess what do you? I know you're so busy with Black Sails right now. Do you have any other things that you're working on in the pipeline, or when you were off of Black Sails, were there any projects you're working on? Or
it's so hard because this just takes up so much time. So really, my focus is mainly on the show right now. I would love to be doing other work, and I'm very much unemployed when I'm not working on this. So absolutely, please hire me, someone. But yeah, no, it really this takes up the majority of the time. It's just a really, really huge show, and we're doing lots of ADR when we're not there, and it's nice to get a little bit of time to rest after the show is done. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it must not be too bad shooting in Cape Town, and it's in the summer there right now.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Cape Town is beautiful. I mean, it's honestly one of the most beautiful, beautiful places I have ever seen in my life. It's extremely stunning and is a great place to vacation. It's like anything, you know, but living there for months and months and months and months every year away from friends and family is a challenge, and it's really hard actually. But the city is beautiful, and we have a lot of fun there. And I do have some family and friends who come up and visit, and that's a really nice thing. And yeah, I would recommend anyone to check out Cape Town because it's really special.
Have you swam with the great white sharks yet?
I did.
My sister did that.
I feel so bad because there's a lot of controversy around that. They're saying that they're saying that it's not good for the sharks, that it encourages them to associate people with humans with food because of the chumming. But and it was, I didn't know that until after I went because I told people and they were like, oh, you shouldn't do that. But it's, it's one of those things. It's like, do I regret going? No, because it was an amazing experience. And you realize how, like, as humans, we think that we're so the center of the universe. And like when you are in the ocean, like next to a great white shark, you are very aware that you are powerless and that you are nothing. And it's humbling, and they're majestic and weirdly beautiful in some way. So yeah, and I'm sure your sister said
I just watched the
thing.
video. My sister and my dad went, and my mom was like, "I'll just stay on the boat and look at the sea lions."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
It was.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and it just it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's a very surreal experience. It's definitely the most seasick I have ever been in my entire life, being on the boat, because they take you to one of the waviest places. I don't know why. And as long as I was in the water, I was fine. I was actually more comfortable in the water with the great white sharks than I was on the boat, where I was so unwell. Yeah, never again. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it was just the one time.
And we are done.
Yes, exactly.
And had you been to Cape Town before
No,
filming?
never, not at all. I was not really familiar with South African culture in any kind of way. I'd seen Leonardo DiCaprio and Blood Diamond, and that was kind of all I knew about South Africa. And my mom had said to me, like, when are you going to shoot somewhere like exotic and glamorous so I can come visit you? So
then you go away for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. on the fourth now. So it's crazy. So I had never been before, but I'd done a lot of traveling, so I'm very, very much used to traveling. But it's a pretty epic, special place that's very, very, very different from our lives here. That's for sure.
And you've been acting for a very long time. Did you always know that you wanted to kind of do this and be an actor? And
I wanted to be an orthodontist until I was about 12. I don't know why.
I was going to ask you, if you weren't an actor, what would you be doing?
I definitely wouldn't be doing orthodontistry now, but the money sounds good. No, I don't know why. I had a really cool orthodontist when I was a little kid, and I think I just thought he was like the coolest, and I was decided like that's what I'm going to do for a living. And my mom was like, perfect, this is set. She'll have a great income. And then a few years later, I was like, actually, I want to be an actor. And she was like, oh, but no, she was very, 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 very supportive. And I did. I've known for a really, really long time that I wanted to do it. And, I'm just like one of those, there's so many of us like Canadian actors that start out small, and you get little guest stars and start getting bigger parts and bigger parts. And it's a really kind of, just working through it, just struggling through it. And it gets bigger and bigger. And I'm so grateful to be where I am at right now and on this show that I respect and love so much. And if I wasn't acting, I would love to own some boutique hotels. I would love that. Yeah. Ooh. Some like really cool, really nifty, like affordable hotels for people, because I just feel
almost
like
bed and breakfast style, but just like a little more
like funky. Just so that like it's we're living in a time when like everyone is talking about how the middle class is kind of disappearing, and I just would love to open up a boutique hotel that was like really cool, so you could have that funky experience when you're in New York or in Vancouver or Paris or wherever you are. And kind of big plans, Paris, my goodness. Branching out far with my hotels. And just have, regular people be able to like enjoy what is, a really funky way to visit.
This could be your similarity between Max, the hotel aspirations,
the business, her business
aren't really legal though. So.
This is true.
But her business savviest, I would say, that's great.
Hospitality industry.
Absolutely. She wants people to have a good time, and so do I. So.
Oh, man.
That's awesome. So did your parents and did your friends when did they start being like, oh my God, like you're on TV, you're kind of getting to a point where like people recognize you when you go out and all that stuff?
My friends and family are actually really chilled about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. I don't know if anyone knows it. Do you know who's writing for the new Archie?
I'll tell you.
You'll tell me? Tell me now. Okay, so anyways, my family in Calgary, Alberta are working with this person's husband through their company, and I guess she's someone that if I was a massive comic fan and was in the comic book world, it would be a person that it would be like, oh my God. Yeah. And I guess she's a huge fan and loves Black Sails and loves Max on the show, and so I guess that was like, when I hear things like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's a big show and people are watching it, and that's really, really great. So, but in terms of it, my friends and family are just really supportive. Like for them, they were like, yeah, that's really cool that she knows who you are. No one's overly enthusiastic about it, which I think is a really, oh my God, we just growled. I wonder if you can hear that in the microphone.
Jewel Katz? Is that her?
I think that might be who it is, but I don't want to say yes because I'm not sure. Someone who like
Toronto author Jewel Katz.
I think that's probably who it is, and she drew a really beautiful photo of me and like put it on Instagram. I have to follow her and be like, thank you so much, because comic book people would like die to have like her draw a photo of them, and she has a photo of me. Yeah. So I hope that's who it is, and that I'm not saying it wrong.
Oh no, that person is nope.
It's not Jewel Katz. Never mind.
Not Jewel Katz.
Never mind. It's not Jewel Katz. Just kidding.
Nope.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll tweet later and we'll get it all settled.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get it all settled.
So stay tuned.
Stay
everybody.
tuned, everyone. So I stick my foot in my mouth. Yeah, no, it's my family is really chilled about it. They're just really happy and they
which I'm sure keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
And, you know, as things are picking up, because they are for you, which is really excited. But then also when you have to be away from them so much, you know, it seems like you have a really great support system.
Yeah, it's like I have no desire to have any kind of aspirations for entitlement or anything like that. It's just, to me, it's like it's a job, and the best actors out there would always say that, you know, it's not about anything else. It's about, like a Canadian. It's not about anything else.
Sorry.
I got really humble there. When I get humble, when I do my humble Canadian, I sound super Canadian. It just isn't. It just, you know, I just want to do the best work I possibly can and have no interest in all of the other stuff.
Who is your favorite character on Black Sails?
Jack Rackham.
Jack Rackham.
Always and forever. He's my favorite.
Jack.
He's just, Toby is meant to play him, like I said before, and because of that, there's like this something crazy magical happened, and it's funny because I know Toby really, really well, and he's a dear friend, and he's like my brother, but I secretly have a crush on Jack Rackham, and it's weird because I don't have a crush on Toby, but I have a crush on Jack Rackham, which doesn't make any sense.
I understand.
Like, can you do your Jack Rackham?
Yeah,
for a
right now.
sec?
Yeah, and I'm just, I don't know, it's like the thin mustache. I don't know what it is.
The little glasses.
Yeah, it's super confusing.
Oh, when he busted out those sunglasses in season 1, I was like, who is this guy?
It's hilarious because there was so much flack on the internet being like, those aren't like period sunglasses, but they were. Those are 1700 sunglasses that he was wearing. Yeah, no, and everyone was like, that's ridiculous, but it's true.
Is Max at all based on a real person at all? Like, is there any like person that you were able to kind of research or do any of kind of like history digging to kind of connect to her?
I kind of try not to get too into I wanted to kind of really do my own thing with her. I mean, my process is a little bit different in that way. So certainly no one specifically that they tried to make her specifically designed to be. I mean, there was a mixed race person in the book in Treasure Island that sort of was Silver, and I think there was a lot of talk of, oh, is that who she's supposed to be? But she really kind of is her own her own kind of powerful woman, and I wanted to kind of find that in and of myself, if that makes sense, and find that character on my own. Yeah, it's
just because Black Sails, I think, is so unique in the fact that it uses real people from history as well as characters from Treasure Island.
It's a nice mix.
I love that, and it's like it gives them kind of creative liberties, but then they do still kind of stick to. I mean, we know like Billy Bones, obviously, John Silver, obviously, they have kind of a route that they're taking that we know they'll eventually get to, but because there's all these characters thrown in there who some of them are real, some of them are not real, you never know what's going to happen to them. But they have said that this is a prequel technically to Treasure Island.
Yeah, it's about 15 to 20 years earlier than Treasure Island, and it is, and it's such a cool dynamic, like, because so the characters, I mean, that's the thing with like being killed off, you know, there's certain characters who know they're not going to be killed off, so they're like, nope, we're good, and then there's the rest of us who are like, oh god, but what happens, you know? And because a lot of historical stuff with pirates, they sort of kind of know when and where certain pirates died and when and what happened to them, but it's not really clear, and there's liberties there that the writers are able to take, which I think is
it makes it so much more fun, because there's stuff we know is coming, but then all sorts of stuff you have no idea how they're going to take it.
I'm so scared we're going to get a big death at the end of this season. I'm like almost positive, because like we had the shocking death at the end of season, because we had like bomb dropped about Flint's kind of history. That was huge. And then for the death that happened in the second to last episode, that was huge. And then they kept showing it again and again. And all like last time on Black Sails, like I don't need to see someone get shot in the head again.
Right. Yeah.
But
that was a tough scene.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think I screamed and like cried when that happened when I was watching it.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you see episodes 1 and 2 of next season.
Oh, no.
I can't even tell you how many times I screamed.
Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough.
Everyone was like, who was like yelping in the theater? And I'm like, that was me.
It was you.
That was me. I was like really reacting to that, because everybody else that was in the crew, they'd seen the episode so many times, and I'm just like,
no, there's some really shocking things in the first couple of episodes. There really are, and it's hard not to have like a visceral reaction to it.
I think we're gonna lose one of your threesome this season.
That's what you think.
That's what I think.
So of Rackham
and or Max.
Okay, got ya.
And I think we're gonna lose one of your three, and I think one of you, like you, or say if we lose you, I don't think we're going to lose you, but say if we lose Anne, you're going to have, or Jack's going to have something to do with losing Anne. Or if we lose Jack, and then it's going to be kind of this thing of like, how am I going to deal with you now that I still need you, but I hate you even more than I hated you before when you were just my competition?
You should be talking to the writers on the show, because I feel like you have all these ideas, and
I
you
know.
should be writing for the show.
Brad, I'm calling you.
Exactly. Exactly. Dan
That was yeah.
you have these great ideas. These are very good
That's
ideas.
a great prediction, and it makes me nervous though.
I thought the girl who was captured, I thought she was the love child of Flint, and that's who I thought she was for the longest time. And I had this whole backstory theory about her.
Which very well could have been a thing.
It could have been a
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Chelsea thought it was great. And,
It would have been awesome. That would have been a really great story. That we did it wrong.
and that they
We
sent
did it
her
wrong.
to Charleston with their friend to be safe, and because it was a love child. And all this
Absolutely.
stuff.
That makes complete
Right,
sense. Yeah.
right. You
All
know,
these
it's fine.
layers.
I like it.
You know where to find me, guys.
Yeah,
you know
right
where to
here.
find me. Is there anything else we want to touch on before season 3? If you had to describe season 3 in one word, how would you describe it?
That you
Boom.
You
I'm doing it.
boom,
I'm
you
doing
did
it.
Oh,
Maybe 2 words if it.
Yeah, I'll give you a
maybe-
phrase.
maybe 2 words. Baffling. Do I want another B word? I want to make alliteration
You should.
here.
You
really,
should.
really
I hope for a B word
badly.
right now.
It's just so, because it's so many different things.
Do you think it's better than season 2?
Yeah.
Because season 2 was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's the best season so far. Season 3 is the best season so far. So it's the baffling beast. It's a beast of a season.
A
There you go.
baffling beast.
Baffling
Okay.
beast of a season. I did it. I
You
did it.
Exciting.
Baffling beast. Okay, so and then one word to describe kind of Max in season. I like the one word thing.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
2 words to describe Max this season, because like she's been such a different person every season.
I wish the essay course I took in university, I wish you were my teacher. Just 2 words, guys. Just
two
2 words.
words.
And
Just
I'll-
go. Just
exactly. A+, A+.
Get the thesaurus.
To describe Max in season 3.
Yes.
Kind of a turmoiled temptress.
All these
more
alliteration.
alliteration.
More
Love it.
alliterations.
I love it.
Yeah,
Temptress.
temptress and turmoil, maybe.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, conflict.
Yeah.
We've got conflict coming up.
Oh.
Yeah. Watch it and be like, well, I didn't feel that much turmoil. I felt this, so you know.
No, it's now giving me new theories.
Oh, you're writing again.
I'm writing.
You're
in my
writing
head.
in your head right now.
I'm writing season 3 in my
Yeah.
head right now. I know it's done, but I'm just writing it in my head right now. Don't worry. Well, is there anything else? Like,
I don't think so. I think
there
we
anything
hit
else you
a
wanna hit
lot
on?
of yeah, and anything else you got going on outside of Black Sails that you want to?
Gosh, guys, I'm just so happy to be here. It's been really
Your
fun
boutique
chatting.
hotels.
My boutique hotels that I really want to start.
What will you call
What would
them?
you exactly? Yeah, one word.
In one word, what would you call your
What would
boutique
you call your
hotels?
boutique hotels?
They'd probably be something really cheesy, like I'd want to use like Parker Kennedy or something. The Parker
sounds-
Kennedy
that
hotels or
sounds
something.
nice,
Yeah,
though.
it sounds really
Fancy.
nice. Yeah. But fancy but accessible.
Kennedy.
That's what would make me happy.
Hip.
Yeah. So when when the big movie comes, which is
It's coming.
It's coming.
We know it's
It's
coming.
very soon. That would be something on the side that I would love to do, is invest in something.
I
like
could see
that.
you as a Marvel character.
Oh God, that would be great. Please say that
Absolutely,
on the
'cause
air over and over and
Marvel
over again.
character right here.
Marvel character.
Marvel.
Jessica Parker Kennedy,
Marvel
new Marvel character.
Or Star Wars
Right.
Yes.
character.
Something that locks you in for
Star
5
Wars.
movies down the
That's
road.
Sounds
hooker. They are looking
wonderful.
for. I know. There was a casting that was just released for like a female to be in the new Star. They're casting a new female for the new Star Wars movie that's
Well,
like your age range.
That's that. Well, there you go.
There
It's
we
done.
go.
It's
All
done
right,
and
Star
done.
Wars,
Wars.
Marvel,
Give her a call.
Disney.
The 13th Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you already
the
have the
14th
Creole
for it.
accent
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, we're working on it.
You know how to deal with pirates.
Yeah, I got it. I got loads of practice now.
Great.
Game of Thrones. No, you have such a great show that you're on right now, and I just feel like Black Sails. It's so funny. I feel like it's just gonna continue to get bigger.
Yeah, I certainly hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so, because it's very much a show that is like, we're growing in the mainstream way. I mean, when you're on a paid network television, it takes a minute. It takes a minute.
It does take a minute. It does, yeah.
So we're working on it.
And especially like with Black Sails, there wasn't kind of like an already created fan base for you
Exactly.
guys. This was a new show. This was a new take on pirates. This was a gritty take. This was not the parrot on your shoulder. This wasn't your mom and dad's pirate show.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, so it definitely it's its own kind of niche market, and I just feel like the more people that I tell to get into it and who watch it, love it. Right. There's not one person that I've been like, you need to watch Black Sails, and they're like, oh, I don't really like it. They're like, pirates, yes,
exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
And it's a new direction kind of that we were seeing with Starz too. So people aren't used to going to Starz for these shows.
Exactly.
And same thing, everyone I tell or I find other people who watch it too, they're like, oh my gosh, I love that show.
Honestly,
I love Starz.
Honestly, Starz has got some awesome shows. 3 Golden Globe noms.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, or 3 or 4, I can't remember. Well, 3 different shows anyways that got nominated on the network. Like it is an awesome shout out to Starz. It's an awesome network.
And Starz also, I mean, their attention to detail in every single one of their shows. I love their programming style. I love that they take such risks, and
they care so much.
Yeah, and they do seem to care. They do still seem like to be a small little family.
They do. They keep all of us really tight. Like whenever there's a premiere for a show, they invite all of us, and we all go, and like we all of us on the different shows know each other really well, and it's a really nice we know the Outlander guys really well, and
Sam Hewen.
Oh, it's hilarious. I like it's so funny because Sam is just like Sam to me, right? Of course, and it's so funny because I'll watch women around while I talk to him, or like we were at the 4 Seasons last year, and there were just girls on the streets Sam, like screaming, and I was like, all right, bye Sam, we'll see you later, and it's just a few people out there have a crush on Sam, I would say. Yes.
Well, John Silver, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, Zach,
and John Silver.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
I love John
There's
Silver.
a guy for everyone. There's a guy for every match.
Well, so let's just say where we can follow kind of your stuff now. Again, just so people know, on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, so you can follow me when I remember to tweet on at jparkerk, and then Instagram is at jparkerk3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then the Black Sails starts on.
Oh yeah, Black Sails, right? Of course, that show that I'm on, Black Sails, starts January 23rd. You can see season 3. It's definitely the best season, so you should check it out on the Starz Network. Right. And definitely.
Yeah, and we will be recapping it here on AfterBuzz. We are very excited to dive into it every week.
And if you guys,
so fun.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched Black Sails, I literally just binged the entire series in the last month and a half. It is such a great show. Get into it. Get a subscription to Starz. You'll love it, and you'll love the other programming as well that Starz has to offer. So that's my little plug for Starz.
That was
I love
beautiful.
them. They're great.
I'm so glad that you're here.
They're so great,
today.
and I love Black Sails. So get into it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really
it's
fun.
been fun.
Yeah,
safe travels.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll be leaving tomorrow back to Cape Town.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, Lauren, where can we find you?
You guys can find me everywhere at Lauren Salaun, and make sure y'all are subscribed to us on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV, and also on iTunes, where you can also leave us a review.
Ooh, and you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Keetin Marchi, because I have a really weird name and nobody else has it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on Black Sails Recap.
Perfect. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.